Hey, good afternoon. Michael Wynn here, Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. And today we're going to talk about passion. Yesterday I was meeting with a group of guys and we were talking about business, and it's really interesting when you meet with someone and it's really obvious right away whether or not they have the passion for what they do day in and day out. And I think about every semester here at Digital Ops and RB Oppenheim Associates, we interview dozens of really amazingly talented and gifted and skilled students from Florida State University and FAMU and some of the other local state colleges. And, as we sit down and we talk with them, obviously we look for the talent, we look for the skill, we look for the writing abilities and the creative abilities. But the one thing, that really stands out, that really separates some of the applicants from others is when it's obvious that they have a passion. And, I think passion has been misunderstood in so many ways, but I like what Steve Jobs said. People with passion can change the world. I love that. I love that, there's this idea that when you're so committed to the thing that you believe in the most, this mission that you just really grab a hold of and really sink your teeth into and put all of your strength and energy and focus into it, that it really does make a difference, and I think about, like, that's how we approach, that's how I approach. I've talked about it many times that, my passion is that I meet so often. In fact, this morning I just sat down with a potential new client and they tell the same story. I'm here, this is where I am, this is where our business is, but we want to be here. We want to be down this way. We want to move forward. And when I hear that story, it's just like, whoa, it's just like this huge siren goes off, this, alarm, bells, whatever you want to call it. And it's like, yes, perfect. You're at the right place because that's what we do. It's amazing that, so many times when you walk into a place, it's obvious that for whatever reason, people have lost that. They've lost their passion, whether they're burned out, they don't have the support. I mean, I'm thinking about, when you go to a business and it's obvious that they've lost their passion. I think about the show 24 Hours to Hell and Back with Gordon Ramsay and how he goes into these restaurants and it's obvious that the food is terrible, the service is terrible, everyone's stressed out. I mean, it's awful. But he goes in and really inspires and reignites the passion for the business, from the chefs to the servers, to the owners. And sometimes some people are inspired and reignited, and then there are people who he can't save them and they're just lost. And, they end up having to say goodbye and let those people go. And that's a tough part, but that's the truth. So yeah, I see that now. I'm like, gosh, that's tough. But, at the end of the day, you have to stay focused and you have to be committed and you have to surround your people and your business with passionate people who care about the products and services that you're offering. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about being passionate about what your services and products mean in the lives of your customers. And that's huge. And so I think that, the one thing that I thought about today that I just really wanted to kind of share and have a captured moment of this sort of epiphany, if you will, and that's, I want to fuel this passion. And so how do I do that? Well, I think first of all is understand, what it is. And then I think next would be just to recognize it, in our day-to-day when you're out and about and doing your daily routine, whether you're picking up a coffee or, running to the grocery store or whatever it is, when you run across someone that it's really obvious that they're passionate about what they do, you know, recognize it, applaud it, you know, thank them for, you know, their obvious passion for what they're doing, because you will fuel that even more. And so I think that that's something worth, you know, talking about. And look at some of the passion. You know, I think that, again, people underestimate and don't understand. You know, they think it's just sort of blind enthusiasm, you know, and not grounded in reality. But in truth, it's not. It's actually this just, you know, dig your heels in the dirt and you know, grab on as tight and as hard as you can and push forward. Because what we've seen is that passion will crush the status quo. I mean, look at you know, what Uber has done in disrupting the status quo. You know, the original vision was, you know, why should people have to rely upon, you know, a car payment? Why should they have to rely upon public transportation? If they only need to get from here to here in one day for one time, why not have something for that need? You know, and so it really, you know, disrupted that whole sort of transportation, you know, system. Look at Netflix, you know, another, you know, just innovation, disruption innovation, where the passion and the vision and the mission to be able to watch what we want when we want it, you know, in the categories that we want it, rather than have to pay, you know, an exorbitant amount of money for a bunch of other stuff that we don't want. You know, and so I think that that's another sort of piece of evidence of businesses who are committed to passion and committed to, we don't have to settle for this is the way things are and this is the way things have always been. You know, we can make a change. Airbnb, gosh, what another example of, you know, the disruption of, you know, where people stay and when you want to go, that it's not, doesn't have to be regulated by, you know, a building with hundreds of places. It can be individually owned, and it can be one day at a time or 1 week at a time. You know, 3D printing, again, you know, the commitment to that and how it's disrupting manufacturing as we've known it for the last 200 years. So all of these things go back to passion, and people with passion who are committed and who are really driven to see their mission succeed and move forward. So, you know, as you look at your business and you're thinking, how can we get better and how can we move forward? I hope that you will look in the mirror and look to see what your passion level is, and hopefully you can reignite it. So again, my name is Michael Wynn, and I'm the Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. Thanks for your time today, and we will see you tomorrow.